All forms of fear extend the space I occupy in the human mind.
Welcome back to No Narc Network TV, Oshun Ajay exclusive, and Bigo Live. I am the Oracle, Oshun Ajay, aka the Unraveler. This is lesson 2 of Dissecting the Devil, my people. Once again, the purpose of this study is to prove my theory that narcissism is a level of demonic possession. So as we go forward and I am illustrating the behavior of the quote-unquote devil, I will be paralleling that behavior alongside the behavior of the narcissist, and you will see that the behavior is identical. The reason being is that it is the exact same spirit, okay? So going forward, keep that in mind as we study the devil's behavior. We are paralleling that with the behavior of the narcissist, once again, to prove my theory that the narcissist is demonically possessed. Okay, so once again, this is lesson 2 of Dissecting the Devil, my people. I won't hold you up. Let's get it.
Your Majesty, will you explain how you gained this control over human beings?
The story is too long to be told in a few words. It began over 1,000,000 years ago when the first man began to think. Up to that time I had control over all mankind, but enemies of mine discovered the power of positive thought, placed it in the minds of men, and then began a battle on my part to remain in control.
You know, just imagine that starting out, everyone is basically innocent and not even really aware of this negative charge because, you know, we only know love or that which we call God. And so we're unaware of this negative charge until it actually affects us. And so you have this very small negative charge. If you guys remember the illustration from lesson 1 of the positive and negative charges and the atom. Okay, and so he represents a very small part of the charge, and the negative charge is not very big. But at the same time, if you have these innocent people who are completely unaware of this negative element, then I could see how it would be very easy to influence their minds, without them knowing that it was something that was not going to be, it was going to be detrimental to their well-being and to their spiritual growth, okay?
So far I have done quite well by myself, having lost only 2% of the people to the opposition.
I take it from your answer that men who think are your enemies. Is that right?
It is not right, but it is correct.
So men who think are the enemy of the devil, which explains why all of the ascended masters and master teachers who have come to this realm and tried to uplift humanity and try to raise people's consciousness into a higher level have been crucified in this realm. For one, they are vibrating way too high to be surrounded by such darkness, and the darkness is threatened by their light. So if you think critically, you automatically become a threat and therefore an enemy to the powers that be in this realm. If you keep your mind occupied by doing things like reading, by learning, exercising, and doing things that cause your own thinking mechanisms to kick in and be used, then you wouldn't be vulnerable or susceptible for this wandering spirit to just move in and take over. When the seeds of negativity have been planted in your mind and you recognize these, and again, they're going to appear as worries about things that could possibly happen in the future. And a lot of those will probably be attached to things that have happened in the past, okay? That does not mean it's going to happen in the future, and you need to recognize those as the seeds that the devil plants, okay? And is depending upon you to nurture so that they will grow, okay? And instead of nurturing these by giving it your energy, you want to dig these up by the root, and you want to throw them out, and you want to replace them with new and different thoughts. Okay, you can choose your thoughts. Okay, by doing so, you will be creating your world. And so, to create a new world for yourself, choose new thoughts for yourself. Okay.
Tell me something more about the world in which you live.
I live wherever I choose. Time and space do not exist for me. I am a force best described to you as energy. My favorite physical dwelling place, as I have told you, is in the minds of the earthbound.
So he's telling us that he consists of negativity and that he plants seeds of negativity in your mind and then has you nurture them by feeding them with your attention and your energy.
I control a part of the brain space of every human being. The amount of space I occupy in each individual's mind depends upon how little and what sort of thinking that person does. So the less you think and the lower the quality of your thoughts, the more vulnerable your mind is to inception from the devil. Meaning that the more that you allow your thoughts to be influenced by other people and other things, and which types of other things, as far as the quality of it and the vibration of it. So basically negative thinking and, following other people instead of thinking for yourself, instead of doing research for yourself, instead of finding out in the same way that you expected those people to know, and to go get it from the source like they did instead of getting information from other people, the more vulnerable you are. So, you have to, the key to this is to begin to take control over your own thoughts and to monitor the quality of your thoughts. If the thoughts are negative, you have to monitor the quality of your thoughts and understand that those negative thoughts did not come from the Most High, and they are not conducive to you growing or healing or getting any better, stronger, or wiser. As I have told you, I cannot entirely control any person who thinks. The statement that an idle mind is the devil's playground, it's exactly true. And so when your mind is not idle and you are focused on a goal or something that you're trying to reach, then this is the perfect defense against your mind being infiltrated by this negative energy. So monitoring your thoughts requires you being aware of your environment and everything that you are consuming, as far as the media, the television that you're watching, the music that you're listening to, the food that you're eating, the activities that you are participating in. All of these things are vices that can be used by the devil to plant seeds of negativity in your mind. You can look through your Netflix or whatever streaming service that you have and look through the selection of movies or programs to watch, and you'll see blood and gore, violence, sex, and all low vibrating energies that are being used to plant seeds of negativity in your minds. Go turn on your news, okay, your local news or the national news, and you're going to see the same thing, okay? Listen to a lot of the music that the young people are listening to, and you're going to hear a lot of the same things. And this is becoming aware of the fact that all of these things are tools for the devil to plant that negativity, those seeds into your mind. It is it's imperative that you begin to change some of the habits that you have been, some of the habits that you have that enable this to happen, okay?
You speak of your opposition. Just what do you mean by that?
My opponent controls all the positive forces. Of the world, such as love, faith, hope, and optimism. My opponent also controls the positive factors of all natural law throughout the universe, the forces which keep the earth and the planets and all the stars balanced in their courses. My opponent also controls the positive factors of all natural law throughout the universe, the forces which keep the earth and the planets and all the stars balanced in their courses. But these forces are meek in comparison with those which operate in the human mind under my control. So I want you guys to continue to, make parallels between the psychological makeup of the quote-unquote devil and the narcissist, okay? Because, again, it is identical because it is the same spirit. So as he compares himself to the Most High, like the typical narcissist, because he does not have the power to control the planets and the stars and all of the beautiful things in the world, of course he has to devalue being able to do those things, and he also has to pretend that he does not want to do those things. He also has to make it seem as if the things that he is able to do
seem like the things that he would prefer to do. Okay, so again, the devil is a liar. He lives in delusions, and so does the narcissist. Okay.
Where did you acquire your power, and by what means do you add to it?
I add to my power by appropriating the mind power of the earthbound as they come through the gate at the time of death. I add to my power by appropriating the mind power of the earthbound as they come through the gate at the time of death. 98 out of every 100 who come back to my plane from the earth plane are taken over by me, and their mind power is added to my being.
So 98% of the people who die in this world are going with the devil because of the fear that they take with them. Okay, so this is the reason for the scary movies, the blood and gore, all of the horror stories on the news, the preaching of fire and brimstone in church. This is the reason for all of these things being placed into your mind during your lifetime, so that at the time of your death, there is a form of fear there that he can grasp onto to drag you straight to hell, which is a state of consciousness, which then produces a state of being.
I get all who come over with any form. I get all who come over with any form of fear. You see, I am constantly at work, preparing the minds of people before death, so I can appropriate them when they come back to my plane.
Will you tell me how you go about your job of preparing human minds so you can control them?
I have countless ways of gaining control of human minds while they are still on the earth plane. My greatest weapon is poverty. I deliberately discourage people from accumulating material wealth, because poverty discourages men from thinking and makes them easy prey for me. My next best friend is ill health. An unhealthy body discourages thinking. Then I have countless thousands of workers on earth who aid me in gaining control of human minds. I have these agents placed in every calling. They represent every race and creed, every religion.
Who are your greatest enemies on earth, Your Majesty?
All who inspire people to think and act on their own initiative are my enemies. Such men as Socrates, Confucius, Voltaire, Emerson, Thomas Paine, and Abraham Lincoln. And you are not doing me any good either.
Neither am I.
Is it true that you use men who have great wealth?
As I have already told you, poverty is always my friend because it discourages independence of thought and encourages fear in the minds of men. Some wealthy men serve my cause, while others do me great damage, depending on how the wealth is used. The great Rockefeller fortune, for example, is one of my worst enemies.
That is interesting, Your Majesty. Will you tell me why you fear the Rockefeller fortune more than others?
The Rockefeller money is being used to isolate and conquer diseases of the physical body in all parts of the world. Disease has always been one of my most effective weapons. The fear of ill health is second only to the fear of poverty. The Rockefeller money is uncovering new secrets of nature in 100 different directions, all of which are designed to help men take and keep possession of their own minds. It is encouraging new and better methods of feeding, clothing, and housing people. It is wiping out the slums in the large cities, the places where my favorite allies are found. It is financing campaigns for better government and helping to wipe out dishonesty in politics. It is helping to set higher standards in business practice and encouraging businessmen to conduct business by the golden rule. And that is not doing my cause any good.
So keep in mind that this book was originally written in 1938, okay? So at the time, the Rockefeller Foundation may have had very good intentions and had been doing very positive work, okay? Since then, like the devil said, he has, agents all over the world of every race, creed, color, and religion doing his works. And since that was one of his main, one of the main foundations that he was against, it did not like what they were doing, the devil has infiltrated the Rockefeller Foundation, because as we all know, the Rockefeller family is now part of the elite, okay, which is, again, just nothing but the devil's agents who are doing the work here on this earth plane.
What about these boys and girls who are said to be on the road to hell? Are you in control of them?
Well, I can answer that question only with yes and no. I have corrupted the minds of the young by teaching them to drink and smoke, but they have me baffled through their tendency to think for themselves.
You say you have corrupted the minds of the young people with liquor and cigarettes. I can understand how liquor might destroy the power of independent thought, but do not see what cigarettes have to do with helping your cause.
You may not know it, but cigarettes break down the power of persistence. They destroy the power of endurance. They destroy the ability to concentrate. They deaden and undermine the imaginative faculty, and help in other ways to keep people from using their minds most effectively. Do you know I have millions of people, young and old of both sexes, who smoke 2 packages of cigarettes a day? That means I have millions of people who are gradually destroying their power of resistance.
So the quote-unquote devil uses cigarettes to destroy your power of resistance, and due to the fact that it is a habit that becomes subconscious, it does become susceptible to the law of hypnotic rhythm.
One day I shall add to their habit of cigarette smoking other thought-destroying habits, until I shall have gained control of their minds. Habits come in pairs, triplets, and quadruplets. Any habit which weakens one's willpower invites a flock of its relatives to move in and take possession of the mind. Any habit which weakens one's willpower invites a flock of its relatives to move in and take possession of the mind. The cigarette habit not only lowers the power of resistance and discourages persistence, but it invites looseness in other human relationships.
I never thought that cigarettes were a tool of destruction, Your Majesty, but your explanation throws a different light on the subject. How many converts to the habit do you now claim?
I am proud of my record. Millions are now victims, and the number is increasing daily. Soon I shall have most of the world indulging in the habit. In thousands of families I now have followers of the habit, including every member of the family. Very young boys and girls are beginning to take up the habit. They are learning how to smoke by observing their parents and older brothers and sisters.
So basically, what he's telling you is that when you're smoking cigarettes, you're essentially giving him access to your subconscious mind, because when people are smoking, they usually zone out and they're kind of not paying attention. This gives him access to your subconscious mind, in which he can plant seeds of negativity that manifest as low vibrating thoughts, that manifest as jealousy, anger, fear, greed, and lust.
Your Majesty, when I began this interview, I had you all wrong. I thought you were a fraud and a fake, but I see now that you are quite real and very powerful.
Your apology is accepted, but you need not have bothered. Millions of people have questioned my power, and I got most of them at the gate as they came over.
Millions have questioned his power, but he got most of them as they transitioned. And this was because even though they questioned his power, they still feared him on some level. Okay, so the fear has been planted in various ways throughout a person's life, through the movies, the music they listen to, their environments, church, things that they've learned in school, especially if you're a melanated person. You know, you've been taught horrible things that happened to people that looked like you in the past, and horrible things are still happening to people that look like you. All of these things get planted into the subconscious mind throughout a lifetime, so that by the time that you are ready to transition, there is some form of fear there that he can grasp onto to drag you straight to hell.
I ask no person to believe in me. I prefer that people fear me.
So the scriptures that read, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Can you see how these are words that have been used to indoctrinate people to think that fear is something beneficial? The Most High God is love through and through. Love and fear are opposing forces, and the Most High God, which is an indwelling spirit that is within, meaning both with and in his people, has instructed his people to fear not.
I am no beggar. I take what I want by cleverness and force. Begging people to believe is the business of my opposition, not mine.
So notice the arrogance of the quote-unquote devil in his personality, and parallel that with the personality traits of your classic textbook narcissist. Also notice the fact that He sees everything as a competition, okay? All narcissists also see everything as a competition. If they are overt, they won't hide the fact that they see everything as a competition. They won't be able to hide the fact that they see it as a competition. But the covert narcissist does try to hide the fact that they see everything as a competition. Regardless of the fact, a narcissist is a narcissist, and all narcissists see all of life as a competition. I said all that to say this, that the narcissist's personality and the personality of the quote unquote devil is identical. This is because their father is the father of lies. It is the same exact spirit. And I will continue to prove that going forward in the upcoming lessons. So this is going to end lesson 2, my people. Go back over the video, take note of the places where, things were being repeated, because those are the things that you should be taking note of, okay? If you guys are interested in joining the private No Narc network, click the link for Oshun Ajay exclusive in the description. And until we meet again, my people, keep it classy, keep it clean, and do what you got to do to make shit happen. Peace.